Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we got problems. Before we get going on that though, during the last video I mentioned that if you had time, if you could you please go down, hit the like button and get me 1,000 likes. Boy did you. We broke the 1,000 like barrier. Last time I checked I think we were at like 1,200 likes or something, so a huge thank you to everybody who hit the like button. So that's I don't know if I've ever gotten 1,000 likes before. Definitely not in the first few days. I usually get maybe 600 or 700 likes. So big thank you to everybody who hit the like button. So thank you for that. In this video, I'm going to ask for more likes. I'm going to ask for 2,000 likes. If I get to 2,000 likes, I'm going to do a giveaway. So get down, hit the like button, and we'll do a giveaway over the weekend. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, so as I said in the earlier part of this video, we have problems, and all the problems are inside at the moment. This is a batch of bulls that towards the end of last week, if you remember, I put a video up of us moving these cattle. These are the cattle we moved from one paddock to, or one field to another. They were going out on fresh grass for grazing. And yeah, put the drone up, took a bit of footage of it, and all was good with the world. I think that could have been last Wednesday or Thursday, around that time. So Saturday we were walking out our hay, got that done and dusted. 6:30 went down to meal these guys, meal them, all okay, everything fine. 24 hours later went to do the same thing again. 2 of them are blowing. Now if you remember, last Saturday was particularly warm day, lots of sunshine, glorious, an absolutely glorious day. It was almost like a summer's day. Saturday evening wasn't so glorious. There actually was a touch of ground frost. And when there's a huge temperature change like that, it's not good for livestock. And 2 of the cattle here were blowing. So took all the cattle in Sunday evening, couldn't get the 2 separate, took them all in, put them all on hay, segregated the 2 that was blowing, treated them. One of them was particularly bad. This has been a terrible year for bulls outside. Heifers and cows and calves don't seem to mind the wet weather just as much as bulls. It doesn't affect them the same way. Bulls, the water in the grass seems to just run through them. They don't do well, and this is what these cattle have not done well. They're probably 100 kilos down on what they should be in a normal year with all the wet and rain that we've had. But yeah, as I say, we took them in, we treated the 2. One of them was one of the poorer ones. He actually died on Monday morning, so he deteriorated very fast and died Monday morning, probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock Monday morning. We had the vet actually called. He was on his way out. He was here around 9 o'clock, and there was 4 more that we pulled out and treated that also were blowing slightly. So he was then afraid that maybe that there was a viral pneumonia going around, and that maybe that it could spread to all the cattle. So we treated all the cattle for. We actually treated them with. We had the IBO here to do them anyway. They were coming in this week to get done for IBO. We had hoped to put these inside the next few weeks anyway. So treat them with IBO. Give all the cattle in that we have here. We've done them all with an antibiotic as well, just preventative, just in case that anything did spread to them. So it worked anyway. We've had no more of these cattle have taken any illness, and all are okay now for the last number of days. They're in now 3 days, so it has worked to that degree. The other cattle, there's still 4 outside. 2 of them are well improved, 2 are still blowing a little bit, but they seem to be improving. But you'll just have to see. We have to keep treating them and just see what happens. So it's just one of them things. These cattle were warmed 4 times this year. We had them in on 4 different occasions and warmed them, and not always with the one warmer too. There was a variation of warmers, so it's not a warm problem. It's not it's nothing like that that's causing it. So yeah, it's just one of those things. And another problem relating to the poor weather. So what we're going to do today now, we are going to have to feed them. So I'm going to get the drone up, I'm going to take a bit of footage as I'm filling the feeder, and maybe a bit of GoPro footage as well, and we'll do a wee bit of a voiceover over some parts of it too, and we'll get them fed. So let's get at it. So here we go, we're just going to start filling the feeder now. On board on the first bucketful, we've just got some minerals and straw. So seeing as this is kind of I suppose you could call it a starter ration for these bulls, plenty of straw on board. We're giving them just over 1 kilo a head a day, and yeah, just tipping that in now as we speak. Diet feeder is running, of course. And get our barley busted here. You can see it in the left hand corner of the screen, but that will be happening I think on Friday. We're going to be doing that, and we'll get it into the shed. So what I'm doing is I have a little bit of barley still in there from last year. It's just in on the right hand corner, so using away at that, and I'll move it over a little bit, and we'll put this barley when it's treated, busted and treated. We'll put it into that corner. So next bucket of stuff we're getting is it's also a fibre. We're just getting some. It's an oat feed, so that's going into the feeder now. It's very dusty. It's not too bad now at the minute because it's not that windy, but you'll see now once you tip it in. Usually this is what destroys the tractor and the teleporter in the winter, when those wet evenings when there's a bit of a wind blowing and it's just mizzling rain and the machinery is all wet. This stuff just sticks to them and everything else. Sticks to the sheeting of the shed. It just gets on everything. But it's a good enough feed, so we continue to feed it. This is diet feeder number 2. This is the one we put the rubbers in last week. We have the first feeder. I have to put a wee bit of paint on it. We've never sold it, we've never advertised it, we didn't do anything with it yet. We got the work done on it, but that's going to be changing in the next week or so. We'll do a bit of paint work on it and get it advertised and try and get it sold. We have 3 of these feeders. Our other feeder, the newer feeder that we purchased with the newer type elevator, it is away. It was actually just finished being fixed today. So yeah, we went down last night and had a look at it, and super job done on it. So but I'll do a video on that once I get it back. So we've just put the barley in now, and it's a matter of just let it mix away there a wee bit. The next thing that we have to do is, just as I go in to tip the little bit of barley that's in the bucket out, is put on the shear grab. Shear grab goes on, and we'll head down to the silage pit, and get a bit of silage to put in the feeder. Silage. This is the silage pit from last year, so it's the second cut silage that went in last year. It was never open last year, over last winter. So it's been sitting there for it's sitting there now for over 12 months. Opened it up a couple of days ago, and it's not bad. It is a little bit wet, which is understandable as last year was quite wet. But it seems nice silage. The cattle are eating it fairly well now. You'll see just as we pull up to it, there is a wee bit of a crust on the top, which is a little dark in colour, but once you actually get down, into it, it's quite nice. You can see there now, it's just a little bit black on the front. It was well sealed, it was well covered, but I suppose it's just because it's lying there more than 12 months. It just goes a little bit like that. But you can see there where we've took it out, it's a nice golden colour. And the feed quality of wood, I don't know. We'll get it tested and just get it checked out. But it'll do fine for feeding these initially. We'll make up for the little bit that it's lacking with a bit of meal, and it should be fine. So so just pull around now, and we drop the silage in. And I kind of go around then, and we just have a quick look into the feeder as it's mixing. Trying to drive here, work the drone, and try to keep everything going. I'm short a pair of hands, really, to be honest. It's not simple to do all these things at once. Yeah, but there's the silage now. You can see it once it starts open the grab. It is a nice golden colour in there, and a lovely smell of it. So it looks and smells good. But how it tastes could be another story. So yeah, I think I just fly the drone over now and kind of look into the feeder for a second. These Abbey paddle feeders, we love them. We've had them for years. They're a simple machine. There's not much that goes wrong with them. Keep the chain tight. Keep a good chain on it. Keep the chain tight. Grease it, and we've been in maintenance maybe on the elevator from time to time. And these feeders they'll go for a long time. But the paddles is a good job for mixing too. There's a full set of knives in this feeder. And they do chop it up well. If you leave the silage it turning and mixing for a few minutes, it'll chop it into pulp if you let it. So yeah, this is just the last bit of silage that had to go in, just to mix up the right amount on the ration. And yeah, that is it mixed. Just mix away here now for a moment, and we'll go and discharge it. So you probably noticed that the drone footage was a little bit jerky at times and a bit fast. So I actually had the drone in the wrong mode. It was in the sports mode, so I nearly dropped it into the feeder once it had dropped too quickly. But I copped it a little later on. Feeder's working well. You probably noticed that the new set of rubbers that we installed there last week are working very well. They're cleaning very nicely. Yeah, last year they were well worn. Some of them had fell off, and it just meant that the feeder was never cleaned out properly. When just say you were feeding your beef cattle and you want to move on then to feed your younger cattle, and they don't get as much meal, they don't get any potatoes and none of that kind of stuff. So when it's not cleaning out right, then they end up you've about 200 kilos left in the feeder, and some of that is potatoes, some of that is meal, and that ends up going then to the mixed in with the young cattle's ration. So yeah, it's not ideal. We should have replaced them last year. We didn't, but we have it done now. But yeah, we're just discharging it out. This is actually the second shed that we got the slat grooving done in, and this shed actually wasn't ready. We decided to put these cattle into this shed because with them being a little bit on the sick side, it's a little more sheltered. It's not opened as much, so hence why we put them in here. But yeah, the feeder's working well, and this is them finished now, more or less, feeding wise. I'm just closing up the door and I head back up the yard. So that's really the end of the video. It's a short enough video for today. We're under a little bit of pressure over the last day or two, just with different jobs going on, and yeah, I'm just heading back up now, and we'll park at the side of the shed. As always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the sub button if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a like in the video, comment down below, all that kind of stuff, and we'll see you in the next couple of days. Oh, just before I go, don't forget to hit the like button, because if we get to 2,000 likes, we will be doing a giveaway in the coming days. So get down there, hit the like button, and watch out for the competition then over the weekend.